Good morning. Welcome to Fishful Thinker. I'm Chad LaChance, and as always, we appreciate you joining us. This morning, you caught us at 6 o'clock in the morning, idling out of South Bay at Horsetooth Reservoir, north central Colorado. And today's gonna be a little bit different. It's a lake we fish a lot, but today we're attacking it only with fly tackle. No spinning rods, no casting gear, certainly no bait. We've got only the fly rods in the boat. It should be a lot of fun. We have no preconceived notions. We might do bass, we might do walleyes, we might do trout. We're gonna take what the lake gives us. It's early in summer or late spring, so it should be fun and interesting. So stay tuned, get comfortable, it should be a fun show.
Fishful Thinker Television is brought to you by Sportsman's Warehouse, America's premier outfitter. Peterson Toyota and Toyota Trucks, moving forward. St. Croix Rod, fish now. Do everything else later. Berkeley, catch more fish. Abu Garcia, for life. Fishful Thinker Television is brought to you by Ranger Boats, still building legends one at a time. Evinrude, spend more time on the water. Lawrence, find, navigate, dominate.
Takes some getting used to. Tell you what, they're trying to use a lot of the same qualities that I would use with the spinning rod, with a jig, with the fly rod. So I'm starting off with a 7-weight and a monstrous Clouser minnow that's custom tied by Ronnie Castiglione, who guides with us. And the thing I like about this Clouser, it's got giant oversized eyeballs on it. And they're extremely heavy and they look real. And I think that, oh, there was a bite right off the bat. That didn't take long. That's my first real throw. I don't know if that's a good sign or not. But at any rate, with the big giant eyes on it, it acts a lot like a jig with a floating line. When I strip it, it'll come up. There he is right there. All right, now. Took me 3 casts. And guys, it's funny, I mean, we don't like to joke about fish because we like all fish, but this one is little, and I specifically don't like to pick on the little guys. Now we're gonna hopefully find a whole bunch bigger than this, but guys, it's about 10 after 6 in the morning. We just put the boat in the water and going fly fishing. So it's all good. The whole fly fishing for smallies thing, I can't even tell you how much fun it is, and I think we're gonna catch a whole bunch of fish with it. But I'm going to use the same principles all day that I would use if I was spin fishing, or at least all morning. And that is basically letting my fly go down, and then as I pull it, because the line itself is floating, when I pull it, the fly will come up, and then it'll sink back down, it'll come up and sink back down, not unlike if I was doing a lift and drop with the spinning rod. Now, as with pretty much every episode of Fishful Thinker, we've got a whole bunch of rods. I've got a 5-weight, 2 6-weights, and a 7-weight. The reason I have them is different size flies. I want to throw some really big stuff, I want to throw some smaller stuff, and because of that, I've got multiple fly rods. If you notice, I'm over punching the cast as well. The flies are very heavy. I want to drive it into the surface of the water to purposely create a little bit of a splash, and then also to help it get down through the surface film and down as fast as possible. So I'm kind of over punching my casts with the little Clouser minnow, and that seems to be as good a plan as any so far this morning. That's a common thing that I do when I've got heavily weighted flies. All right, there we go. Now, like I said, guys, we're gonna work a couple different points. And we got back in here and got what I would consider a cove point. We'll swing him with the fly rod. That's my old bass habit there. And again, he's not quite what we're looking for yet, but we've only been fishing, he's got one eye. He's played the fishing game before. Little guy. But we will again use him to help us determine our pattern. And so we got here on a cove type point. We're back in a cove now instead of out in the main lake, and we got bidding in. So now we've been fishing maybe 40 minutes. We've caught 3 fish, and or had 3 bites, and 2 of them have been on points back like this. So we'll continue to look at that and see what happens. The bait was on the drop, and the line just pulled tight. It was a straight watch the line sink, and the line sank and pulled tight on its own. That told me there's a fish, and just like that, we got another one. So we'll keep messing around here and see what we can come up with. We'd sure like to find some big ones, and I think we will. But as with any other kind of fishing, we have not scouted, we have not come out here and practiced or pinned them up. We're trying to find them. And so we'll see how this plays out, transfers from the spinning rod to the fly rod. Same thing, guys, did not feel anything, just happened to see the line pull. And that's what it comes down to, is seeing that line pull tight. When that line pulls tight, that's a good sign that somebody bit. And so this is a big old cannon of a rod. It's a 7 weight, and it's a St. Croix Legend Elite 7 weight at that. So it's a good, strong, powerful 7 weight. There's a little bit better fish here. Come up here, buddy. Come here, buddy. Come here, buddy. Get him up in here. Still not quite where we're looking for, but we're headed the right direction. And you see that little bright colored clouser minnow. We're using a real bright color right there. Pretty fish. And we'll kiss him. We could use some good luck. He's not milting yet. Got some line in his throat where somebody else caught him once before, so he's played the fishing game. But real bright colored clouser.
Fishful Thinker Television is brought to you by Camp Chef, the way to cook outdoors. Peterson Toyota and Toyota Trucks, moving forward. Lowrance, find, navigate, dominate.
There we go. There we go. Let that one sink a little bit longer. I just said, I don't know if the camera was rolling or not, I just said I wish I had a sinking line. I wanted the bait to go a little deeper. Rather than switch to the other rod, I just let it sink longer because this is a very heavy fly. And then we got us another one here. It looks suspiciously like the last one. There you go, buddy. I'll take that little clouser away. And I'll tell you what, guys, he might not be a giant bass, but they're fun to catch. Even with this big old 7 weight, you know, it might be more ideal to have a little bit smaller rod for the size of some of these fish, but it's not about the size of the fish. As we always say, it's about the size of the fly, or it's about the size of the lure you need to present. And in my case, I need to present a big old heavy fly. But one thing we'll definitely do is we'll use these couple of bites along here to help us find our next bites. That's what we always do in all of our angling, is let the fish tell you how to catch the next one. Well, these fish are telling me they want to fly a little bit deeper and a little bit slower. So no problem. I'll go a little deeper and a little slower, and we'll see what happens. There we go. All right. Now I switched up and put the full sinking or the sinking line on, threw right back to the same spot as the boat drifted by it. But the difference between the sinking line and the floating line is all in how the bait works. Easy there, buddy. The fly will move towards you nice and even on the sinking line. Now this is a 6 weight, and you can notice it's got a little more bend in it than that 7 weight. And that's just a matter of which line has which rod on it. And I've got a little minnow pattern on here, a little bit more natural color. We've got a little bit more light now. Got a good hook set on it. Another pretty little smallie right there. See you, buddy. And little minnow. I don't even know what this particular pattern called. It's kind of like a muddler minnow style, but I've got a sinking line. I've got a Kelly Gallup Mastery Series streamer specific sinking line on this 6 weight fly rod, and it makes the bait move real horizontally. And so when I say horizontally, the bait moves straight towards me if I strip it, because the whole line is in a straight line, as opposed to the line floating and then dropping to where the sinking fly is. That's really what the difference comes in between the sinking line and the floating line. And so it just gives a totally different look to your fly because of the fact that it's moving more horizontally. instead of a more jigging motion. So we'll see, that's another pattern detail. It's not so much that the fly is any deeper, because with enough time I can let it go deep enough with the floating line as well, because the fly itself sinks. It's just that the sinking line makes my presentation a lot more linear. Now, I fully expect that we could get bit right here. The spot really is a classic spot for smallies to spawn. Now, we're only 58 degrees. We're not quite to where they're ready to spawn, but I know there's fish moving in and they're thinking about spawning. So I'm fishing areas that I think that is a good shot that they'll come in to spawn, and maybe we can catch the first couple of fish as they're staging and getting their act together and getting ready. So that's kind of what I'm doing in here. We got bit on a real flat bank before, so we're in here kind of extrapolating that. And that spot that we got bit on previously, and we got several fish off it, is a classic same kind of spot as this, where it's got the kind of stuff they like to spawn. Now, they're not to that stage yet, like I said, but they're getting there. From the time it hits the water, you gotta watch that line. I mean, it's such an important thing, because if you think you're gonna feel them, you're not, and they're not gonna bite it necessarily on the strip. A lot of them are gonna bite it on the drop, and so if you're not watching that line, you're not gonna know that they got a hold of it. And if you watch the show very much, you know we throw a lot of gulp. Oh, Chad. We throw a lot of gulp, and the reason we throw a lot of gulp is because it allows fish to hold on to the fly, or hold on to the bait better. It's not that I don't think it gets me more bites, it's that it gives me a chance to detect more bites because the fish hold it better. Well, this is a synthetic and bucktail clouser minnow, which isn't going to taste right to them, and they're going to spit it out pretty quick if they get a hold of it. And so it's going to be my job to figure out, there we go, how quickly. Now that fish, I missed him a second ago, and I threw it back to him, and he ate it the second time again. But like I said, he's gonna spit that thing out in a hurry. He's not gonna hold on to that for any length of time. Nice, there we go. That's a fatty right here. Come here, buddy. Come here, come on up in here. That's a fat, pretty little smallmouth right there. I'll tell you what, and he's not giant, but that is a fat and beautiful little fish. Look at the belly. You wonder why I'd bite the fly twice? How nice is that? Here you go, buddy. And get me all wet. Throw back to him. I threw to him, he bumped it, I missed the hook set. I'm telling you guys about how they won't hold the fly. In the meantime, I've thrown the fly back to him to give him another chance to look at it. And he not only looked at it, but he choked it the second time. And I did not miss the hook set twice.
Fishful Thinker Television is brought to you by Sportsman's Warehouse, America's premier outfitter. St. Croix Rod, fish now. Do everything else later. Camp Chef, the way to cook outdoors.
I've got 1X fluorocarbon on here. The reason I have fluorocarbon is everything I'm throwing today will sink, and everything I'm throwing today will end up around the bushes and around the rocks and things like that. And fluorocarbon is real good for abrasion resistance. And so the fluorocarbon leader helps get the fly down, and it also is excellent for abrasion resistance. So that's the biggest thing that I like about the fluorocarbon. And here it's not so much about visibility. In fact, I've got a really bright colored fly because I'm worried about visibility. There's not as much visibility as I'd like to see. There we go, there we go, watching the line tip. That's all you gotta do is watch the tip of the line, and when the line takes off, it's a good sign. And there again, we preach it all the time about the costas and being able to see what's going on. Now that little guy absolutely swallowed my clouser minnow. Well, we'll be getting our little forceps out here. We'll get him right out of there, but no problem. Let's see, where's the hook at? Right there, no problem, no worse for the wear. See you, buddy. But if you don't watch the line, you're not going to catch those fish. That line just, boop, little tiny tick on the line, I set the hook. It's not about feeling them. It's almost like your line's your strike indicator, for lack of a better way to put it. Now you probably noticed that I haven't changed up flies a whole lot. I think this time of year, it's really, as much as anything, about getting your bug in front of a fish. A clouser minnow and a wider chartreuse is easy starting spot for smallmouth. I also like white and blue. I also like crayfish patterns. I also like a woolly bugger type pattern. This one will get bit right here. All right, came around the back side of the boulder. Oh, that's right, we got the fun part out of him. I told you guys it'd make multiple casts to multiple sides of a boulder. Well, that's the boulder I was just casting to from the other side. I came around behind it, threw him behind the boulder, and it got bit. So again, that's what I'm saying about making, you get a good boulder like that, it's got deep water all the way around, and fish might have any idea what's going on the other side of that boulder. So if you believe there's fish there, then it's worth making the effort to get around it. Oh, there was another one right there. It's worth making the effort to get around it and get to the other side of it. Got him. There we go. There again, just watch the line. The line started moving left that time. It didn't even pull away from me. It started pulling off to the left. And I know pretty much that clouser minnow is gonna sink straight down. It's not gonna sink to the left. And so, because I know that, when it goes left, I gotta think that there's a finny friend on the other end. And sure enough, look at that perfect hook right in the tip of the snout. Not gonna come off. Cute little bugger. There you go, buddy. How fun is that? That's awesome. I saw that fish come up and grab that thing on the first time I threw it out there. And I pulled up and threw it back. And sure enough, he didn't get it. Another one of Ronnie's big eye clousers. And choked it that time. How cool is that? Now that's one of this, I'll show you this fly. It's kind of a unique fly, and we'll give some props to Ronnie. Pretty little fish, huh? See you, baby. If you notice, that fly's got monstrous eyes and a real small profile. I was just saying about profile. I put some flies on that have much bigger profile, and what happened is we quit getting bites. So I went to a fly with a real small, I mean, if you look how small that profile is, it's really small, with great big oversized eyes that are extremely heavy. What that does is it allows me to move this fly a lot faster. And speed is often a trigger that I think a lot, especially fly fishermen, don't think about. And I know that this is the kind of spot that walleyes like. Got him. There we go. There we go. That one thumped it. Now guys, that's why you come back to your fish, because again, I saw a fish out there rolling a fly a little bit ago. Oh, golly, that was a nice one too. I saw him roll on a fly about 10 minutes ago out here on this open water, and there's a drop off right there. Golly, that one's gonna leave a mark. That fish clobbered the fly. That was the most aggressive bite we've had yet. All right, on the deep fly. Now, all I did, guys, was just switch up to the other, there's a nice one here. I just switched up to the other sinking line instead of the floating line. And all it's doing is making the fly move more horizontally. Like I was saying, it's not so much about a different fly. It's actually still a clouser minnow. It's just that the fly, look at that. You can see it right in the tip of his snoot. Nice big fat smallie right here. Come here, buddy. Easy. There we go. Look at the perfect little big-eyed clouser right there in his corner of his mouth. And not as big as the one I just lost, but a beautiful fish. And what's not to like about a smallie in the sun? Smile! But beautiful fish. I love these things. I never get old catching smallmouth and catch them on the fly rod. It's just an absolute blast. So, I mean, it's the same spot. All I did was switch to the sinking line. So instead of the fly doing this as I retrieve it, now it's doing this. And it's just a mix-up. They seem to bite both of them, but I had a fish on there, I lost him, made 2 or 3 more casts, didn't pan out, got the sinking line out, threw back and caught another one. And so just mixing up our presentations, and that's why we have multiple rods in the boat all the time. Sniffed out some warm water. We're following our temp gauge a lot, guys. It's the difference seems to be, wow, this is a little tiny one, but that's okay because we just went 20 minutes without catching anything at all. We got in here, water was 60 and a half. It was 60.2. Look how little. That's a trout sized one. All right. Back to a secondary bank, guys. That's why you pattern fish. We went out on the main lake looking for really big ones and didn't find any. We get back to a secondary bank, and just like that, we got another one just like we're catching all morning. So we're 3 hours plus in. We're catching bunches of fish. We just can't seem to find any really big ones. And one of these is gonna be a really big one, I know it. It's just gonna be a matter of time. If I can catch up to him. Okay. Once again, got lucky that time, barely to get caught up to him, but I did get caught up to him. And it's another pretty little smallmouth. Now you guys will notice I switched over to the bank robber, the Kelly Gallup signature edition rod, and I've got a black woolly bugger on. I just slowed the woolly bugger up and let it sink down on the bar. I was actually moving the boat when that guy got a hold of it. Look how fat, pretty little fish. But at any rate, black woolly bugger on the bank robber that time. So the fishing's been tough, like we keep saying, and so every one of those fish we're considering little success stories right now. But we did the opposite there. I always say either throw the fastest bait or the slowest bait when the conditions are tough. That time the woolly bugger was literally just soaking, almost sitting on the bottom, and he got picked up, swam away. We'll take it. Well, one thing we always preach here at Fishful Thinker is I love to fly fish when the conditions are right for fly fishing. We really thought this morning we'd have us to shoot them up even though it was a post-cold front condition. I really thought the post spawners would really attack streamers, and we caught a lot of fish. We just never made contact with the big ones we wanted. So conditions have deteriorated, the bite's gotten slower, not better, and so we're done. We're headed for Fort Collins. If you're interested in joining the conversation, you can check us out at Facebook at Fishful Thinker. If you want to book a guide trip, you can look us up at fishfulthinker.com. And most importantly, we hope you'll continue to tune in and see what we got going on next week. So till then, we appreciate you watching. We'll see you next week. Oh, there we go. Oh, there we go. Oh. Ah. Oh man, that's a good man. Ooh, crappie. I saw a little crappie try to get me. Cut.